part of something that isn't the best. That's what I say to you. I say, why would you want to go represent something you know doesn't have the confidence, doesn't have the pride, doesn't have the time, doesn't have the opportunity, doesn't have the leadership team, why would you do that? And he goes, I wouldn't. And that's why they resigned. It wasn't because I badmouthed their name. Let's look at facts. And here's what you all can know to be sure. When you look at the facts, how do you not blows everything else away? Fact. Fact. It doesn't. Right? And if you all know our commitment, if you find something different, let us know. And we'll be it. Y'all know that. Right? So, all right. The fourth thing, and this is the most important thing I want to relay as far as rule number 2. Law number 4 of the belief, of the transfer of belief mindset. So you believe yourself, you transfer the belief about network marketing to other people, you transfer the belief about ideology to other people. Okay, what's the number 1 key? The number 1 key, the fourth law, the transfer of belief is this. You've got to capture this. You have got to capture this. You have to let your folks know you believe in them so they will believe in themselves. They can love network marketing, love ideology. But if they don't believe they can do it, they won't do it. They will quit. A person's level of belief is directly tied to the level of commitment. A person's level of belief is directly tied to the level of commitment. You will never in a million years see somebody that has a belief level here with a commitment level here. It doesn't work that way. Just like this trip. Every time we announce an incentive trip, I know for a fact that 95% of the people don't even believe they can accomplish it. So they don't even try. Isn't that sad that I just admit that publicly on this platform? I know that. I tell my corporate team, when we do incentive trip, you just understand, 5% of the people are going to run for it. That's it. And they're like, well, then why would we do it? Because those 5% are the ones that run the company. If you're trying to please 100% of people, what's that? That doesn't do good. Reward excellence. Law of attraction. They'll attract more people like themselves. That's it. You all, at some point, the light bulb went off, and you said, I'm going to win that. You believed you could win it. Therefore, your commitment was parallel to that, and you went for it. Does that make sense? You know, for some of you, that light bulb may have gone off when your spouse saw that we were coming here. It had nothing to do with your life business. And she was like, you better win that. You better win that. All day. Somebody said that to me. They come to me and they go, I wasn't involved in my life. When I saw my husband win an incentive trip to the Hard Rock, I became very excited about my life. Amen. We're going to talk about that topic here momentarily. I wrote down this quote. I wrote down 2 quotes actually. These are 2 quotes I try to live by. I fail. I fail a lot of times with this. These are 2 quotes I try to live by. I need to be better at it. When you bring out the best in others, you bring out the best in you. When you bring out the best in others, you bring out the best in you. The next quote I've written down in my office, and so I brought it with you all, is help people see their greatness. Help people see their greatness because they are a masterpiece. Made in His image to do great things. They're not here by design. Help people see their greatness. Some of you may go, that sounds like a corny thought. Let me tell you something. You show me somebody that believes they're great, I'll show you somebody that's going to accomplish greatness. I'll take somebody who is ignorant and knows nothing about what we're doing, but they believe they're great, over the person that knows everything we're doing. I'll take the person that has no sphere of influence, but believes they're great, over the doctor with the largest hospital in the world. I will. Because this person believes they're great, and anytime you find someone who believes they're great, you can be sure greatness will follow. You find anybody who believes they're great, greatness will follow. Live by those. That's the 4th law of belief. Help people find their greatness. Because they are great, but let's be honest, the world can beat you up. The world can flat out beat you up, and people can lose hope that they're great. People can lose the thought that they're great. They can lose that. And what I'm saying is, you don't ever lose that. But most importantly, help other people see it. Because when you bring out the greatness in others, it's going to bring out the greatness in you. You and I feel alive when you're doing great. Seriously. And you're going to find that once you've tasted significance, you'll no longer care about success. What's the difference? Success is inward. It's about what you want. Significance is about helping other people do what they want. Once you've tasted significance, you'll no longer care about success. And I can't wait for you to taste it. Some of you already are. Some of you already have. Third rule for living the ideal life. Oh, this is good. That's my own thought now. It's not my own thought. It's a divine thought. I want you to understand that. For those of you who understand, like when God downloads things in your brain, it's not of your own doing. You ask for him to download stuff, he does, and sometimes he surprises what he does for you, right? This is one of these moments. So here we go. You've heard me say this before, but I'm going to repeat it again. You'll get in life what you expect to get in life. It's so simple, it's so great. Let that just salivate on that for a second. You'll get in life what you expect to get in life. I know there's a proper brain right up here. You'll get in life what you expect to get. It's that simple. You'll get in life what you expect. And then I wrote this. What you focus on, where your focus is, which you talked about, is where you'll go. You know, I've said this before, and I'll say it again. I got a phone call one day, and they said, Logan, everybody's just so drama. Why am I attracted to drama? Why is my whole team just full of drama? Literally, this was the reply. I never said a word. This was the reply. Got it. And that was it. They got it. Now, this is a level 10 leader. This person's awesome. And she knows who I'm talking about. I'll never forget. But it's so true because, listen to me. Focus works both ways, positive and negative. If what you feed, that dog's going to win. Right? And so when you have people that are drama, either squash it or you get consumed by it. If you're focusing on the negative aspect of whatever it is, drama, you're going to be stuck in that tornado of drama. Right? What level 10s do is they go right here. They go, hey. Ownership mindset. We're talking about things we can't control. Right? We're allowing things that, our emotional intelligence, here's one. We need to pick it up. Right? We're struggling emotionally here. Let's focus on the solution, not what's happening. Let's move forward. You follow me on that? Right? And so my point is, rule 3 is you have to have a positive outlook on life. You have to focus on the positive. That does not mean that everything's going to be positive. That's a delusional concept. Right? That's delusional. Right? But what you can do is when negative things happen, you can find the good in it. You can find, look, I tell my players this all the time. There's no such thing as a bad experience if you learn from it. Hear me on this. The only bad experience is the one where you haven't grown through it. Notice I did not say go through it. If you just go through a bad experience, that's a negative experience. That's a bad experience. But if you grow through a bad situation, it's a positive. You've grown. You've become better because of it. Right? It's like the old saying. There's no such thing as a smooth mountain. If there were, how in the world would you climb it? Right? It takes the little potholes, the little divvies that get you there. And here's what, you all leaders, I promise you that the higher you get, the stronger the wind blows. The higher you get, the more haters you're going to find. When Taylor Swift was a kid, no one cared. Right? She becomes the most famous person in the world. She has to write a song about shaking it off. You know what I mean? I mean, it's the reality. As you all grow, right now, you mark my word. You don't even know this, but I promise you it's happening. Right now, there are people back home seeing your pictures on social media about this trip, and they're saying this. They wouldn't have got that for me. They wouldn't have got that for me. All right, we have money they're making because I'm in Anaheim. By the way, if you've ever said that, shut up. Okay? I'm serious. I mean, don't do that. Hey, you want to ruin your culture? Allow that kind of stuff. You want selfish, greedy stuff. Right? And we're going to get that in a second. And by the way, you know where that whole learning tip came from? Me. When I first got into network marketing, I was like, oh, this guy's making all this money off me. He's not even helping me. He's terrible upline. I can't believe, this is ridiculous. That was me. I'm just throwing myself on the bus. I am. And I'm sitting there, and I'll never forget. I'll never forget. So I picked up a book. I was just starting my personal growth journey. And not not just starting, but I was kind of just starting. And I read something in Zig Ziglar or something. I don't remember what the quote was, but I just felt like totally terrible about it. And I actually I called my sponsor because I felt so guilty. I said, hey, look, man, I got to admit something to you. I've been bashing you in my own brain. And I need to confess. You may hate me, but I'm going to feel better for making this phone call. All right? It's a selfish phone call making to you so I feel better. All right? And I did. And I vowed that day. Okay? Never to be like that again. You know, if that person introduced you to this company, whether they ever help you or not, they introduced you to this company. And they deserve to get paid. All right, law number 4. Rule number 4, pardon me. So rule number 3 is you'll get in life what you expect. Expect greatness. Expect greatness in others, though greatness will follow. All right, the next one. You've seen it in my office if you've been there. Individuals play the game, teams win championships. Rule number 4. Individuals play the game, teams win championships. You know, I wrote on here, if you want people to join your team, you can't give to someone what you don't have yourself. Right? So if you're growing, the quality of the people that join your team will grow. You'll attract what you are, not what you want. Y'all hear me on this? You'll attract what you are, not what you want. If you're negative in your own home, don't be surprised if your marriage starts falling apart. If you're positive in your own home, don't be surprised if your marriage flourishes. It's a pretty simple premise. You attract what you are, right? And here's what I'm going to tell you: is you look at the individuals, and I referenced this earlier, I wrote this down because I really wanted you to get this. And I said it earlier, I want you to get it. You must clearly communicate why someone would join the ID Life journey with you. Let them see the end, right? Or else why would they do it? You know, Carrie, who I referenced earlier, our manager of communications, she asked me a question. She said, well, how do you do that? Because I said transfer vision. And my own entity, I assume she knew right now. And she goes, well, what does that mean? What does it mean, transfer vision? Hear me on this. Transfer of belief and transfer of vision are 2 most important things you'll ever do in your life. Not knowledge of the product, not knowledge of the company. Transfer of belief, transfer of vision. How do you transfer vision? It's right here. Project 5 years down the road. This is what you sit down with somebody. This is what you do. You sit down with somebody and you say 5 years from now. This is how I cold market people. This is literally what I do. I go right into transfer vision when I'm cold marketing people. When they ask, what do you do? I don't tell them. I say, well, let me ask you this question. If you could be doing anything in the world 5 years from now, what would that look like? That's my reply. Everybody said, what do you do? I said, if you don't mind me asking a question. If you could be doing anything in the world 5 years from now, what would the perfect life look like? I had a person yesterday on the beach. You know what they said? That's not what on the beach. It was yesterday in the casino watching the football game. Newly married couple. You know what they said to me? They go, man, if we could be debt-free and travel the world, that'd be the perfect life 5 years from now. Ding, 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 ding. Are you kidding me? Right? No, I'm serious. I want you, what is ID Life? ID Life is literally a vehicle of hope for people. Who doesn't want to be around fun people? Who doesn't want to go on the best trips in the world? Who doesn't want to grow as a person? Who doesn't want to be debt-free? Who does not want to have great health? I mean, are you following me on this? ID Life is the solution to what everyone wants. It really is. Now, not everybody wants to take the journey to get the solution. Not everybody wants that. Not everybody's willing to do that. But that doesn't take away the fact everybody wants the end goal of what ID Life offers people. So, yeah, last night, I said, hey, if you really want to be debt-free 5 years from now and travel the world, I have another question for you. And they said, yeah. I said, how are you going to do that? How are you going to do that? And they looked at me. Then they looked at each other. I go, I know you're on honeymoon here. I don't want to ruin your romantic vibe. You know what I'm saying? But you probably should find an answer to how you can do that. I said, bottom line is we're all on this earth. Nobody's better than anybody else. Nobody's worse than anybody else. You guys are a newly married couple. I can counsel you on something. I counsel you on don't ever settle. And have a focused intentionality on accomplishing your goals in life. If your goal is to be debt-free and travel the world, start as soon as you get back from this trip. If you're not going to start tonight, start as soon as you get back from the trip and figure out your game plan to do it. So the difference between those that accomplish their dreams and those that just think about their dreams is nothing more than a game plan. And then take action on that game plan. That's what it is. Put your game plan in place, take action on it, you accomplish your dream. Most people don't do that, they just dream. So they do. And of course, by this point, they're looking at it going, what are you, psychologist or something, right? So they're looking at it, and I said, hey, here's the deal. I don't want to ruin you watching the game. You guys are, you're kind of, just give your information. I think it's Frank England who's sitting next to me. Just give your information to Frank England. And I edified Frank. I said, Frank England's a very successful entrepreneur, very successful businessman. He has X number of kids, heartstrings, not just hot button. Right? You have to learn. Pull on heart button, not just hot button. Right? Because in the conversation, what she told me, she said, and I'd love to have kids. And he was like, whoa. Right? But the point is, what happened? So now I pull on her heart button. Intentionally, though. And not intentionally and authentically. You understand what I'm saying? There's in selling and sharing. Is sharing is you doing things authentically. Selling, this is just my definition. Selling is it's not authentic. It's an end game for you. Right? Sharing is you're doing something authentically. The great thing about life is not to sell it. Everyone wants it if we communicate it properly. So anyway, I edified Frank. I actually edified some of the other folks around. I said, hey, if you love traveling the world, there's 300 of us here, all expenses paid. At the Hard Rock. We'll be going to the Atlantis pretty soon. We just got back from Mexico. I said, this is what they do. She went, huh? I said, look, just give your information. Well, what is it? Just give your information. You guys can connect. Remember, give them 100% of the information. Give them 100% of the information. You know they went to bed last night going, what the heck did they do? Right? What did they do? I want that, right? You know what I'm saying? And so the point is this, is when you are transferring vision, go 5 years down the road and work backwards. Too many of you start right now and try to project. You don't know what they want. They know what they want, usually. Some people are so dead they don't know what they want. But most people, when you ask them if you can be doing anything in the world 5 years from now, what would that look like? And then you just position what you do as a way for them to get there. You follow me on that? That's how you transfer vision. It's that simple. Right? Project 5 years down the road, work backwards. That's it. And then when you sit down with them, you open up, hey, great to see you, or you're on the phone, hey, I really enjoyed you. Bottom line, what I heard you say was 5 years from now you want to travel the world, be debt free. And the business would like to have some kids. Right? Yeah, that's what we want. Okay, well, you told me you don't really know how that's going to happen, right? Like you don't really have a game plan for that? No. Well, I have a game plan for you. And if you're serious about getting debt free and traveling the world, we can do it in less than 5 years. If you're serious about it. Now, if you're not serious about it, that's okay. I don't want to waste your time or my time. If you're serious about it, I'm going to show you how to do it. Got it. That, my friends, was my key to recruiting right there. That's how I did it. I'd sit down. I would help these people understand that they are game changers, that they are great, and I'm going to help them find, discover, and deploy their greatness. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to help them do it. And then I would get their dreams. I would move backwards. And we'd start and say, now let me show you how to do it. Whatever their goal was, we write it down and put on the mirror. And I'd say, every time we accomplish one of these goals, we'll change our goals. I call it a vision board. I don't like the word goal, but y'all know what goals are, so I use the word goal. Okay? But we put on the mirror. You know what mine was? My original deal was to make $1,000 a month. So I wrote in marker on my mirror, $1,000 a month. That was my goal. I was a 22-year-old kid. My cost of living was $1,000 a month. I had 2 roommates, third floor apartment complex. So I said, if I make $1,000 a month, I'm in. Right? Why not? Meet some great people, make $1,000 a month. Exciting to me. Right? And so the moral of the story is this. Rule number four, individuals play the game, teams win championships. The whole magic to what you're doing is transfer belief and transfer vision, because the better you do that, the more people that will join your team. You follow me on that? It's that simple. Stop selling products. Stop it. In fact, I saw Facebook, one of these millionaires from Southern Company joined our company. What was their first post? All organic, all natural, non-GMO, casein-free, gluten-free, soy-free, made of pure ingredients, HIPAA-compliant assessment, join my team. I picked up the phone and called him. I said, dude, take it down. What, there's something wrong? No, it's all right. It's all accurate information that no one understands. No one understands what the heck you just put up there, right? And so the point is this: people buy into your why, like the Dickens story, before they buy into your what. Stop selling the what. Stop it and start mastering the why. Start mastering it. Rule 5. Oh, this is great. Work with the willing. So simple, so true. Work with the willing. You have so many negative people that you allow to occupy space in your mind. They have not earned the right to have space in your mind. They have not. You've granted them permission to occupy your mind. And here's what negative people do. It's no different. I'm getting crude here, but here's it. It's no different than you not flushing the toilet after a bathroom break. Oh yeah, and every day it just stinks worse and worse and worse and worse. And the next day the whole room stinks. Then your whole house stinks. And everything stinks. Then you have a plumbing problem. It's just nasty. That's what you do when you allow these energy vampires to occupy space in your mind. That's what you do. But I'm not saying you can't get your feelings hurt. We're all human. You're going to get your feelings hurt. But then get over it. You know what I'm saying? Dwell for 5 seconds. Oh, woe is me. My life stinks. Okay, I'm over it. Right? Like, just go. Right? That goes back to rule 1, the ownership mindset. Own your thoughts, own your actions, own your results. Right? You're going to have negative people. Only you can grant them permission in your mind. Only you. Okay, well, Logan, how do I offset that? There's going to be so many of them. You know, first look at yourself. Law of attraction. Are you attracting negative people? Because I can tell you this, I don't have any negative people in my life. In fact, I can't think of one. Actually. I had one person, and I sat down. I said, you're negative. Every time I see you walk around, I'm going to owe you. That's what I told him. I said, here's the deal. I'm going to go change the world. I can't do that with you occupying space in my life. I need to replace you with someone else. Or you need to get your mind right. Because you're negative. That's what I told him. Now, let me hear me on this. No, listen to me. This is very important what you're saying. Some of you think I'm a jerk. I don't care. We change this guy's life. The guy was diagnosed with cancer 2 months ago. Okay? A lot of you are going, well, there's a reason to be negative. Why? What good is that? What good? That's the excuse why it's a victim mindset. He was diagnosed with cancer. And you know, that's what he said to me. He was like, how can you be so rude? We've been friends for forever. I was diagnosed with cancer. Why are you saying I'm so negative? How will you give me one reason negativity is going to make your situation better, and I'll listen? He goes, whoa. There's nothing for him. I said, not just that. You know, if what you focus on is going to expand, if you're focused on your situation, it's going to expand. Right? I don't believe if you believe that anything can happen. What I do believe, though, is if you fill your mind with positive thoughts, I believe positive outcomes will come. I do believe that. And you know what? The dude's rid of cancer. I'm not saying it's because he changed his mindset. What I am going to say is this. Those were 2 months of his life, and he could have dwelled in that moment. Or those are 2 months in his life where he could be positive and then find he's cancer-free, and he had 2 productive months versus 2 miserable months. Remember, though, misery has company. He's a father of 3 kids. Young kids. Can you imagine the life lesson he'd be teaching his 3 kids? I told him that too. I said, let's say you die of this cancer in a few months. How do you want to go out? How do you want your kids to remember their dad? How do you want your wife to remember you? Walk around like Opie? Or, man, look at how he's taken this. Look at how he's just so positive in this horrible situation. You know why we focus on the negative? You want to know? Because we think temporal. We think in temporal terms. You understand everything we have comes and goes. They don't put the U-Haul in the back of your truck or your purse and go to your funeral. You understand that, right? Everything else comes and goes. So why focus on the temporal? Focus on the eternal. That's somebody said to me. There's a funeral. I don't understand why God took him from me. I said, you understand your late husband's up in heaven going, God, why didn't you take care of it? It's awesome up here. So it is. You know what I'm saying? We as human beings, we allow inconveniences to dictate our mindset. Do you understand anything that happens in this earth is nothing more than a temporary inconvenience? And some of you are going to go, look, man, I've lost a child. How can you say that? Your child is rejoicing. They're great. And they're looking down going, relax, mom and dad. Relax. I'm great. Do you understand that? I mean, this is not, we dwell on negative things because we're focused on the temporal, focused on the eternal perspective, and everything else will take care of itself. Some of you may not buy into what I'm saying. I pray that you will. I hope you will just attempt to do that, because I promise you I'll make life will be completely different. And you'll realize this stuff there's nothing to fear. Everything's going to be fine. You know? All right. I wrote a specific comment down in regards to building a value-life business as it pertains to working with the will. Here's what I wrote down. When you have people turn you down, or say it's a pyramid scheme, whatever, you have two options. One, to go, right? Or two, to bite back. I'm serious. Bite back. If somebody has the nerve to be that blunt, that means you have the nerve to be blunt right back. I'm serious. And anybody, I've had people tell me that. That's one of those pyramid deals. So I said, and I go, explain to me what you mean. Well, you're one of those pyramid deals. I go, explain to me what that is. And they go, yeah, a pyramid scheme. I go, so let's make sure we're on the same page. You think I'm on a pyramid scheme? They said, yeah. Yeah, I just want to make sure we're right. You think trade, myself, American Heart Association, Whole Foods, Roscoe Seniors Family, Patrick D, Darwin Beast, multi-billionaire, Jim Wiederscher, Fox News, NBC Universal, we think we're all involved in a pyramid scheme. Just want to make sure you're here. Oh yeah, I become total smart A. Oh yeah, I go all. And they look at me and they go, well, I mean, what do you call it? I said, let's look at you. What do you call your deal? I go, what do you call your deal? You know, I tell them. I do. Well, listen to me. You can either allow the negative energy to impact you, or you can allow it to fuel you. It fuels me. When people say something like that to me, they are not going to leave that conversation without clearly understanding their idiot. They are not leaving that conversation. This goes back to being a professional. If someone goes into an orthopedic surgeon and downplays your profession, you're going to take offense to that. And you're going to explain to them why they're wrong. If you're a teacher, if you're an educator, if you're a law enforcement officer, someone downplays what you do, you're going to go back and you say, no, I'm going to tell you what I did. You understand what I'm saying? You're going to take it personal because it's your profession. If somebody's going to go downplay parenting, you go, oh, let me tell you what I did. Right? I'm not creating a better world for my children. I'm creating better children for the world because the world's made of children, not the children made of the world. And that's how we're going to operate. You understand what I'm saying? I'm a professional dad. I'm my wife. I'm gonna be a professional in what I do. That doesn't mean I'm not going to make mistakes. All professionals make mistakes. But I'm going to be professional about it. And in network marketing, the biggest thing you have to transfer to your associates is they are a professional if they want professional results. If they don't desire professional results, play with it. Enjoy the product. Alright? Enjoy the product. You know what I'm saying? We've got to create a culture with a professional mindset. A professional takes offense when someone says something as stupid as, oh, it's a pyramid. Okay? Now, I'm not saying you're rude. It depends on who you're meeting with, whether it's a red, green, blue, yellow. You handle it a certain way, right? You handle it with empathy and you educate. But my point is this, you're bold. You're bold. And you know what happens? Most of your biggest skeptics become your biggest producers. You know, I blew my buddy off for over a year. I hung up on my best friend from junior high when he called me about a network marketing. I literally said, it's one of these pyramid deals. What do you mean? Are you going to get paid off me joining? He said, yeah. I go, I'm not interested. That's actually the only person I've ever hung up on, I recall. Now I got to fight my dad once. But I've hung up twice in my life on somebody. One was about a network marketing prospect call, and one was my dad. It's a true story. So if I'm going to be that rude and that skeptical, then of course you know the rest of the story. Jennifer Moran was that rude and that skeptical. She turned out good, right? I mean, you get the point, right? So don't think they're not interested. Great learning tip. Most of the times when they insult your baby, they're wanting to see just how bad you believe it. That's really what they're doing. They're testing you. They're seeing your resolve. They're saying, because remember, they're not going to jump on your journey if you don't know for a fact where your journey's leading. So if they're going a Logan Stout, if you're talking to a red, I'm sizing you up. That's true. Every word you say, I'm sizing you up. And if I don't believe 100% that you know where you're going, I'm not interested, even if I love the pride. People join because of people, not because of the pride. It's true. They come because of you. That's a fact. The greatest example I give you, these leaders that are joining the team, that are rocking, they're awesome people. Amazing people. I mean, they're so humble, they're down to earth, they're great, people love them. They're going to be a perfect fit to our culture here in Atlanta. But they built a huge team as a crafty company. They didn't even know that. When they saw our compensation plan, they were there for 10 years. They saw our compensation plan, they were like, holy cow. They were blown away. These are millionaires. They made millions in their previous company. They saw our comp plan and went, oh, I wasted 10 years of my life. I said, no, he did. It's what prepared you for this journey. Right? And so, but my point is, you look at the product. I mean, it's ridiculous. Wait till you meet these folks. Ask them about it. They're going to look at you and go, dude, we don't know what we thought it was the best. We don't know what we're doing. I'm just telling you. What's the point? People bought into them. And that's why they chose their company. Does that make sense? Some of you may be going, well, Logan, how do I get people to buy into me? Go back to rule number 1 that we talked today. Okay? All right, here we go. Next one. Rule number 6. This is your 6th rule for the IE life. And I'll speed all this up because I know we've got a nice beach wave on us. By the way, you guys, this is good? Go get some good stuff? Rule number 6. You become who you hang around. You show me who you run with, I'll show you who you are. I see my boys Miles and Cooper back there. I told Haley, I go, honey, just because we have all the money we ever need, I don't like wasting it. The way I grew up, I don't like wasting money. And I said, I have a tough moral principle of having such a big mansion. I said, however, I want our house to be the house that all the kids want to come to. I want our house to be the house where they want to come hang out. That way I can see Miles and Cooper's friends. Because when I see Miles and Cooper's friends, I'll see who my 2 kids are becoming, or who my 2 kids are. And that's why we have in this home. If it weren't for that, I can promise you, Logan and Haley style, we probably have just a humble home. And, the home is the people in it, not the brick and mortars. You know what I mean? It's the people that are in the home. And so for us, Haley and I are not flashy people. It's not our view. I don't think there's a problem with that stuff. But the point is that for us, it's really not what defines us. For us, it's about love and people and relationships. But we have the home we have because I want to know who my boys are going to be hanging around. I want to know that. And I want to know their parents, and I'm going to invite them over. And I'm going to get to know them. And if they don't sign 90 life, then they're kicked out of my house.